pornography. So we've really been the only game in town in terms of a true felony count for possession of child pornography. So our ability to get a felony conviction, obtain really very real legitimate sentences, and get these guys off the streets for extended periods of time is going to do nothing except make our community safer.
It's critical to work closely with our U.S. Attorney's Office. Where an individual in state court might get probation or a year in jail, we often can get much heavier sentences through the coordination of our assistant U.S. attorneys that are assigned to investigate these cases.
We've had a number of cases in past years up to the present where we have partnered with district attorneys where they will prosecute the same suspect for child molestation charges while we will prosecute that person for child pornography charges.
We use that as a heavy hammer when we have cases in the state system.
The Brownie case is a case that involves a little girl who was being sexually abused by an adult. This particular case probably has the worst images I've ever seen. The pictures were seen in late November of 2003 in Denmark. The officer in Denmark put it on a network that was run by Interpol, sent it to the Canadians, the Canadian Toronto police. The Toronto police had done some training with us prior to that. They got the picture, they looked at it, they saw the Brownie uniform that appeared to them to be an American uniform. They contacted agents here. The perpetrator had obliterated the Brownie, the troop number on the uniform. The agent and the officers from Toronto were able to locate that number and put it to a location in North Carolina. The agents in North Carolina went out and identified the victim, identified the perpetrator, and ended up arresting the perpetrator, who was actually the father of this young girl. Some of the pictures that we saw, the girl was in a dog kennel, naked, locked in a dog kennel, crying. The girl was naked with a butcher knife across her chest. There were carvings on her chest. This says "Kill me, slut," that kind of stuff. Urination on the child. In the exploitation of the data that we recovered at the search, we found, I believe, 188,000 images of child abuse.
It's terrible that these children are going to have to live for the rest of their lives, not only having to live with what happened to them, but the fact that their exploitation is now shared around the world with individuals who are getting sexual gratification by collecting their photos.
There's been a positive impact in respect that everyone in the Bureau and everyone across the law enforcement community that works this violation is on the same page. Once you make that relationship lasts, and it goes across all programs.
Everybody has a tool that they can bring towards this fight against child sexual exploitation, whether it be the U.S. Attorney's Office or the ICAC Task Force or the Innocent Images program within your community, the local law enforcement agencies, as well as entities such as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Whatever the turf battles might be, whatever the conflicts might be between interagencies, when we're talking about this issue, all that stuff falls away. We're all kind of focused on the same thing. We're all focused on saving kids. From where I sit, there's no option for that. I mean, we can't be effective if we're not working together. We just can't.
I think if you'll speak with most investigators or prosecutors, the one key component that you'll hear in the success of these types of cases is collaboration with other agencies.
It's been a successful prosecution team with the U.S. attorneys, the county prosecutors, and local law enforcement all working together and doing the number one goal, which everyone wants, is protect our children.
The law enforcement is working together. We're very aggressive. We're much more aggressive than we were even a couple years ago in terms of addressing this problem, but it's a huge problem.
It's far more important, I think, that this not be the flavor of the month. We want this to be a very sustained operation that has meaningful results to ensure safer communities.
Task forces cannot do it alone. We will need the help of every individual in the law enforcement community. I encourage you, whether you're a parent, concerned law enforcement member, at the federal, state, or local level, we must all do what we can as concerned citizens and criminal justice professionals to make sure that our children are kept safe.
The best long-term solution here is information and education. We've got to prevent our way out of this problem.
You can help me teach parents that they must stay vigilant, stay smart, and most of all, let's work together to make sure we're keeping our children safe from online sexual exploitation. To stop this problem from becoming more pervasive than it is, we need three elements coming together. We need education, we need prevention, and we need enforcement. Project Safe Childhood pulls all of those elements together to make sure we are keeping America's children safe.
In order to confront this threat to our kids, we must rise up together as soldiers in the armies of compassion called to action by President Bush. The core idea behind Project Safe Childhood remains the key to its success, and that's the idea of teamwork. Project Safe Childhood makes a single powerful team out of all of us who want to protect children. If we work separately, we are no match for these criminals. But when we work together, our network is much stronger than theirs. Make no mistake, this is a war. Our opposition is obsessed with hurting our children. We must be obsessed with protecting them. I want to thank you for your dedication to this cause, and I look forward to continuing this fight together. Each of us is but one soldier in the armies of compassion I mentioned earlier, but we will prevail as long as we can count on each other to be out there fighting shoulder to shoulder, our voices united as one. Thank you for your work to make Project Safe Childhood a success.